Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday night, August 8th, and we have another Team USA women's basketball video in store for you tonight. We're going to be going over Team USA versus Australia. They're tipping off tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. So we're going to break down and analyze that game. We'll talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points and the spread, and we'll also talk about any player props that I have found for this one that I am liking. And then any plays that I put in officially myself, I will list down below in the pinned comment later on, so make sure you check back in. That way you can see if you'd like to ride along. Maybe you check back in and you're like, bro, those picks are trash. But hey, whatever we decide to do, make sure you throw them down in the comments, guys. I love to see what picks you guys have cooked up and what you guys are rolling with. And I love to celebrate with you guys when you cash down there on the picks that you guys have cooked up. But before we dive into today's game, let's go over what we took in the last game between Team USA and Nigeria. We had the US in the first half laying the 14.5 points. This does hit for us. Then we took Asia Wilson over 10.5 rebounds. Now, funny story with this one. I'm sitting on the couch watching the game, and I see Asia go to the bench. I see it's the fourth quarter. We have a sizable lead, right? Like, man, she's not coming back in. And to my recollection, she only had 10 rebounds at the time. So I'm thinking, man, damn it. Here comes an L, right? The game ends. I immediately hop on the channel, put an X beside the pick because I think we lost. Man, I get onto my sports book and I say, hold on a second, we cashed? So I look back at the game, man, or I look at the stats. She has 11 rebounds. Now, I don't know where that other board came from. I don't know where I missed this at. I'm not going to ask too many questions, man. I'm just going to take that cash. We'll take it. All right, and then we had Team USA, team total under 92.5. Now, this one was a sweat. Man, Team USA was sitting on about 86 points, I think, with a little over a couple minutes to play. And then they kind of went cold, and I was just hoping, man, like, just stay cold, just stay cold, just stay cold. I'm sitting there on the couch sweating it out there. And man, how many times down the stretch did they just have like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, and then they would pass the ball out and jack a 3 up. And each 3 that goes up, I'm like, okay, okay, cool, good deal. And we do end up cashing on that one, man. Now, we did end up taking Sabrina Ionescu over 12.5 points plus assists. This does not hit for us. I think she played 6 minutes in this one. I don't know what was up with that, man. The reduction in minutes it's baffling to me. She had played so well, I thought. Her shot has not been there. But really nobody's shot's been there for the team throughout these games. But her ball vision has been exceptional. I can't call it, man. You know, I did expect a reduced role for Tarazi. And she was taken out of the starting lineup, but all of those minutes went to Jackie Young, and rightfully so. Young has been balling for much of the season in the W, and then over the course of these last 2 games as well in the Olympic play. But we do finish 3-1. We will take it, man. Nothing to complain about. So let's dive into our game. Without any further ado, we have Team USA taking on Australia. Now, Team USA comes into this one. They are 16.5 point favorites. We have an over-under sitting at 163. Now, Team USA comes into the semifinals match after defeating Nigeria in the quarterfinals 88-74. They never trailed in that one. They led by 9 after 1, 28 after 3, and then they let their foot off the gas a little bit, allowed that backdoor cover from Nigeria on what ended up being a 28-point line for the full game. Now, the same trends from the previous 4 games continued into this one. Team USA again struggled shooting from the perimeter while dominating almost every other statistical category. They won the battle on the glass again by a sizable margin, 42-28. Then they dished out 31 assists, really displaying beautiful passing and team basketball for extended periods of time in this game. Australia has won 3 straight after opening Olympic play with that surprise loss at the hands of Nigeria. They defeated Canada by 5, France by 7, and most recently Serbia by 18 on Wednesday. They out-rebounded Serbia 44-32, and they've won the battle on the glass in each game that they played so far in this tournament. It's also interesting to note that Coach Sandy Brondello of Australia is also the New York Liberty's coach, and she will be coaching against Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu of New York. While Coach Cheryl Reeve of the U.S. is also the Minnesota Lynx coach, she'll be coaching against Alana Smith, also of the Minnesota Lynx. Australia should pose the biggest threat to this Olympic gold run that the U.S. has faced so far. They feature the most WNBA talent out of any team that they have seen in these games, with their entire starting 5 consisting of WNBA players. They have Alana Smith and Ezzy Magbegor in the post. They have Jade Melbourne, Sammy Whitcomb, and Stephanie Talbot rounding out that starting unit. Abigor are both known for their interior defense and rebounding, and this is where the U.S. has dominated most often throughout these games so far. When the offense sputters and the shots aren't falling, they've continually looked down low, feeding not only Wilson and Stewie, but also BG and Alyssa Thomas as well, and they're just bullying opponents down low in the post. Both Smith and Mabigor are not only great in rim protection, however, but they are both agile and mobile. They deny entry passes well, and they possess the ability to contest in the mid-range and out to the perimeter. Team USA hasn't had a particularly explosive offensive performance at any point in these games as well. They've only broke 90 points once, and that was against a heavily undersized Japan team, while Australia hasn't given up just 80 even at any point in these games. While depth should win out over the course of the game again and lead to another eventual U.S. win, I have a hard time getting behind them for the full game. What I've seen from them so far, it's hard not to lean Australia with the points here. Moving away from group play, where point differential doesn't matter, we saw in the last game how Wilson and other starters rested for most of the fourth quarter, and we just aren't going to see the U.S. with the foot on the pedal late in the game if they have a big lead. With that said, though, you just got to expect that at some point, the U.S. is going to turn up. They're going to turn it on and just completely rout their opponent, as they are just simply far more talented than most of these teams in this field. And they definitely possess more depth than all of them. So I'll probably just stay with the lean of Australia for the full game, and I'm not sure that I get there all the way with that one. But I do like fading the U.S. in the first quarter, laying that 5.5 points. The U.S. has only covered in the first quarter twice in these games, and that was against both undersized Japan and Nigeria. Belgium had things tied up after one. Germany held a 3-point lead. So I like Australia to keep it within 5 points here. And then for a total full game, I'll lean under, but I'm looking at the Team USA in the first quarter again. Their team total under 23.5. We've only seen them clear this number twice. You guessed it, against the undersized Japan and Nigeria teams. When facing an opponent that can match up with them size for size, they have only put up 18 against Belgium and 16 against Germany. I think the full game team total under for the U.S. is worth a look as well, but I see that number dropping already. I think it opened at 91.5. It might have been 92.5, but at least 91.5, and it's now down to 89.5. I'm not sure I like it as much that low, so I'll keep an eye out to see if we can get any more favorable movement there. But if it keeps dropping any lower, I'm definitely not touching that one. Then for a player prop, I'm looking at Stephanie Talbot of Australia over 6.5 rebounds. She's hit this in 3 of 4 games played, with the one that landed under landing right on the hook at 6. Team USA has been the best rebounding team in the tournament, but Australia hasn't been too far behind them, and Talbot's leading the way at just under 9 rebounds per game. And then I also like Jackie Young of the U.S. over 9.5 points. Now, Young was an afterthought in the lineup to begin these games, but she has since come on strong with a 19-point performance in their win over Germany, and then she followed that up with another 15 points against Nigeria after she got the starting nod over Diana Taurasi. Jackie, she's familiar with Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray. They all three start together on the Aces in the W. Now they're starting together in these games. She's used to working around other stars and finding her own looks, and that's evident in the season that she's had playing with Vegas and playing with all the stars on that squad. I like her getting the 10 points for us here in a game that we probably won't see the Team USA dominate in the paint as much as we've seen so far throughout these games. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. If you found it helpful or useful in any kind of way, please do not forget to smash that like button down there and hit subscribe if you haven't. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that we are dropping daily. And guys, that's going to do it here. Have a great day. Bet responsibly. And let's go get a bag.